On two wheels, an off-road bike ride through cities, mountains, and desert. With one rider who knows everything there is to know about being off-road, and another who has never set a wheel off tarmac. Two adventure bikes, multiple challenges, and a pair of adrenaline seekers. It's sure to be the journey of a lifetime.
What do you think?
Oh my God! I love it!
Starting in fabled Marrakesh, our adventurers are headed for the vastness of the Sahara on the trail of the ultimate biking adventure, the Dakar Rally. But will they make it to the finish line?
Left, Laura. Uh-oh. Stop, 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 stop. Laura fell down. She's not moving.
Marrakesh, Morocco. Stage one of an epic journey that will take our riders right across the country through mountains and desert, spectacular scenery, and culminate with the ultimate Dakar adventure in the dunes of the Sahara Desert. Australian model and TV host Laura Sortan
Woo! We're doing it!
has been riding for 10 years, but only on roads. She's always wanted to push her boundaries on a bike and follow her spirit of adventure. And what better place to do it than in a country that's played host to the infamous Dakar Rally 12 times. Her partner on this adventure is four-time Dakar competitor Christophe Barrière-Varjou.
Okay, we can go straight or we can go left.
He'll be sharing his knowledge of how to ride over some of the most awe-inspiring terrains. French-born Christophe grew up riding on two wheels in remote areas of West Africa. He'll be traveling with Laura off the beaten path to chase their Dakar dream. It's the trip of a lifetime. This country will throw every kind of terrain at them as they travel to astonishing locations and encounter the people of Morocco. Laura and Christophe start off their adventure with a bang in the exciting hustle and bustle of the city. It may seem easy, but in a place like Marrakesh, it's a lot harder than it looks. They must make their way through the narrow streets to the outskirts of one of the busiest cities in Morocco without falling off. The turns are tight, 90 degrees, but that's all part of the fun. Just like trying to dodge all the other more unpredictable road users. As the roads close in on them, the adventure begins.
Oh, that's slippery. How are we gonna do this?
It's the first time Laura's ever attempted to control a bike that's over 4 times her own body weight.
Ah, yikes. The least turning I have to do, the better.
And falling on a bike like this could mean the end of her journey before it's even begun. This is Laura's chance to see how her bike skills will hold up. Steady control at low speed is absolutely vital. But they'll be helped by the generous 43-degree steering lock on the bike, perfect for helping negotiate tight corners.
Laura, Laura, go for it. Laura, Laura.
Woo! A high five! It's so fun. I love it. Woohoo! Woo! The colors are amazing.
This is so beautiful. Wow. We're almost there, Laura.
Definitely one of my favorite places I've ever ridden. It's fantastic.
For Laura, it's an experience she's been building up to her entire life.
I'm determined and I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I love this sort of thing.
That was crazy.
They've successfully made it through the first section of the journey. A traditional Moroccan tea gives them a chance to contemplate the adventure ahead.
I feel like I'm just diving in headfirst into the unknown. I don't know if I'll freeze or if I'll go or if I'll... It's one of those things, until you're on the bike and you're doing it, you will not know how you're going to react.
And when you ride a motorbike, that first moment where you are let loose into the open desert or open terrain, and that feeling is just magic.
This is certainly getting really off the beaten track and exploring that. And to do it on bike is, again, a whole new world.
Their journey is inspired by the Paris-Dakar Rally, which began in 1978. 182 vehicles set off on an adventure race like no other, traveling over 6,000 miles. Over the years, the rally has had its ups and downs, criticism over its environmental impact, and after security concerns in 2008, the race changed continent from Africa to South America. But 40 years on, the rally is still going strong and considered the ultimate in off-road adventure. It's the legend of the Dakar that's inspired Laura and Christophe to come here and ride in the tracks of its original competitors.
Riding through people and all that, and just everything going on is what I love. Getting out off-road, the speed, that's what scares me.
And my mission for Laura is to make sure she sees that there's actually much more to discover, and more importantly, getting to know herself when she's faced with something that she's not normally used to. And to me, if she can feel that, that will be, you know, mission accomplished.
Frankly, Laura, I'm not worried about whether you can ride the terrain. I know you will be able to ride the terrain. To me, the challenge is whether or not you be, you know, mentally and emotionally prepared or ready and coming through. That's, to me, that's the big thing. You know. So yeah, welcome to Africa.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so excited and so nervous, but ready for it, I guess.
You'll be okay.
One thing Laura doesn't need to be nervous about is riding on an all-terrain adventure motorbike. Its powerful twin cylinders and a lightweight and agile chassis will enable her and Christophe to transition smoothly between on and off-road. The wheel size will allow a useful choice of off-road tires to be applied. Their trusty steed for this journey will be the Honda Africa Twin. The bikes will help Laura and Christophe be ready for anything. Perfect for adventuring up into the spectacular High Atlas Mountains. The High Atlas are North Africa's greatest mountain range, reaching over 13,000 feet. They mark stage 2 of Laura and Christophe's adventure. Beginning just 40 miles south of the center of Marrakesh, the mountains will lead towards the town of Ouarzazate, where they'll hit the Dakar Rally route.
I can't believe this! This is just out of this world.
Just watch out for a little bit of gravel and do not look down the crevasse. The way you look is where you're gonna go.
It's okay. Fantastic.
It's a world away from the chaos of Marrakesh. But just like their riders, these bikes are ready for anything. Like most off-road bikes, they're designed with an upright riding position and wide handlebars, meaning they're usable in any terrain. As they travel south away from the main national route, the combination of lush valleys, terracotta architecture, and winding roads gives them a unique sense of exploration.
Just doesn't give up, does it? It just keeps getting more and more beautiful.
It's a very cute little road. It's beautiful.
And it's not long before they start to reap the rewards of traveling on two wheels.
Now that is the best looking thing I've seen all day. Wow. Love it.
This is the Qasar of Ait Ben Haddou. A Qasar is an Arabic term meaning fortress or castle.
It's mind-boggling how impressive it is, huh?
The amazing structure dates back to the 17th century and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But most unbelievably, this whole city was built of mud and straw. 100 miles into their journey, and Laura is still in her tarmac comfort zone. So the pair are keen to get off-road and onto the dirt tracks as soon as possible. But as the gravel approaches, it's not long before they see that what they're going to be getting is a whole lot wetter.
First time off-road, eh? Steep learning curve for Laura.
The riders have no idea what's coming. And for off-road beginner Laura, crossing a river is a huge risk. Even if it's shallow water, controlling a bike on a wet surface means she'll be facing her toughest challenge yet.
Oh my God, what?
This is the story.
Adventure rider Laura Sortan is about to experience her first ever river crossing. It might not be deep, but one slip on a surface she can't see, and her journey could be over.
When you're not used to doing this, you don't know what's below the water, you don't know how deep it is. The first time you experience this is a bit of like, wow, you know, what am I getting into?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Because of the river's shallow bed and the bike's high ground clearance of 250 millimeters, Laura's able to cross it despite her fears, hardly pausing before riding through like a pro.
It was a very, very steep learning curve. I crossed a river.
She went through it, so I was really proud of her. She did very well.
You like to throw me in it, don't you?
Despite the rocks, she stays upright. Her first step off-road is complete, but it's going to get a whole lot more adventurous than this. Laura may be less experienced, but her confidence is building. And she's certainly going to need it. It's stage 3 of their journey from Marrakesh to the Sahara Desert, taking them from Ait Ben Haddou, turning northeast at Ouarzazate, up to Tadra Gorge. With every mile ridden on their all-terrain bikes, they experience a sense of freedom unobtainable on any other mode of travel. And this stretch is no different. It's time to get up close and personal with one of the most spectacular canyons in the world.
I can't believe this. This is just out of this world.
It's the perfect place to reflect on how far they've already come.
So Laura, tell me, what do you think about the ride so far? Is that what you expected?
Oh, look, I knew it would be pretty amazing, but this just blows my mind.
And you know what I like, Laura? It's like we spend some time in the shaded area, and then we turn around and there's the sun warming us up again, and you can feel the temperature change in our bodies right away.
That's what I love, is like you can really, riding, you can really feel all the elements.
And it's these glorious elements that will keep the riders on their toes.
Oh, ho, ho, we have another river crossing, huh? Ready for some splashes? That's the best way to keep the shoes not wet, you know?
No wet boots here. Yoo-hoo! Amazing. Wow, this is like the ultimate adventure, huh?
They're loving the journey so far, but Christophe starts to feel nervous about what lies ahead.
Okay, Laura, let's keep on going. We've got a long way to go still.
I know, but I just have to take this all in.
Laura is doing very well on the road, but it's still, you know, there's a big difference between riding on tarmac and riding in the dirt and in the rocks and in the sand. So it's a bit of a responsibility making sure that she stays safe, because there's still a long way ahead.
As a new day dawns, it's time for the most thrilling experience on their adventure so far. Stage 4, the Southern Oases. Now they leave the road again, but this time move to a more adventurous terrain. a dry riverbed. Dakar riders can reach speeds of over 100 miles an hour. But as their speed increases, so does the risk of loss of control. And it's no different for Laura and Christophe. They're about to get catapulted into the next stage of their adventure.
How good is this?
If Laura falls, it could be disastrous. So now it's Christophe's turn to feel anxious.
I'm a little bit nervous for Laura now because it's pretty hard to control the bike. So hopefully she doesn't go too fast. Fingers crossed.
The bike helps with this treacherous terrain, using something called traction control. It adjusts the acceleration going to the wheels to try to keep the tires gripping. But for Laura, it's just one more thing to remember.
Well, some wobble. I'm looking at the speedometer, it was like 70 or 75 kilometers an hour. The bike moved a little bit to the side in the back and she was like hanging on and hanging on. And she did very well. It's not bad. On a 1000cc, the bike is pretty good.
But this dangerous surface can hide treacherous hazards. And Christophe's getting more and more concerned about Laura.
It's very, very soft. But it was not just sand, it was rocks as well, which is hidden below the soft layer of sand. We're talking about rocks about that big. Stay away from those tracks, stay away from them. So sometimes you get surprised, you ride and everything is fine, and suddenly the wheels just go sideways.
Oh,
Watch out for the road.
holy, there's a huge figure.
To your left, Laura, to your left.
Much to Christophe's relief, Laura is through the first two hazards.
Oh, she managed to go through the hard bit, so that's excellent. Well done, Laura, well done.
Like a Dakar rider, Laura must keep her concentration, but she's becoming increasingly tired. And now is when Christophe spots a major danger approaching fast.
And I could see in the distance this massive crack in the road. I come closer to her and I'm screaming in the helmet. Left, Laura. Uh-oh, stop, 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 stop. Oh. She managed to go through that and I was like at the back of my mind, I was like, oh no, this is gonna hurt, this is gonna hurt. And I swear, I thought she was gonna hit the ground.
Laura's lucky to have survived that one. If she doesn't spot dangers ahead, she risks making any impact worse.
She's a little bit too much at the front because the sand is pretty soft. She needs to put her body back a little bit. Try to move your body backward a little bit when it's really soft, Laura.
Just when Laura begins to conquer some real Dakar-style terrain, it's her own fatigue that lets her down.
She's going pretty fast. Be careful, Laura. Those riverbeds are really treacherous. She's not moving.
It's stage 4 of the journey from Marrakesh to the Sahara.
She's not moving.
And at the end of a high-speed run down a dry riverbed, Laura has fallen.
Are you
As
okay?
Christophe approaches, he's worried she may have an injury.
How do you feel?
My foot's stuck.
Oh, let's get you up. Hang on, I'll free your foot. Laura's foot is caught underneath the bike. Don't move, don't move.
Laura's stuck under the weight of a 530-pound bike. Thankfully, she's managed to come out relatively unscathed.
I am so freaking proud of you. You did amazing. Give me 5. Hey, 1. I want a hug. Well done. That was hard. That was hard.
I don't even know where to begin because I'm doing things that I never thought I could do, pushing the limits. For me, it was the biggest challenge I've had to face yet.
Laura's determined to get back on the bike and take in more of Morocco's incredible surroundings. But safety must always come first.
Make sure you're not out of breath. Okay?
I'll give
Just
it a
wait.
minute.
Just wait a minute.
Half the desert in my glove.
It made sure that she was all right, no injury, and she twisted her knee a little bit and hurt her back. But nothing major, just a bit of a twist.
I was so out of my comfort zone. I can't tell you how much I pushed myself and came out smiling because I did it. I actually did it. I did the Riverbed Challenge.
The riders have battled through some tough terrain. But despite Laura's fall, they're ready to experience what the Southern Oases have to offer when you're traveling on two wheels. Laura and Christoph have left the road for the first time, crossed rivers, and taken on a sandy, rocky surface. But this terrain is something else.
Laura, Laura, go for it. Laura, Laura.
Christoph just goes, right, right, and I was just, whoa! Oh, it was the best feeling in the world.
She's going. She's feeling the wide open space. There's nothing ahead of her.
It's just you and nothing else, and just this vastness is just beautiful. It's a memory that will never, ever leave me.
Don't you love this?
Oh my God, I love it! Not another soul around.
The adventurous pair have reached the open plains of the Southern Oases, just a stone's throw from the Algerian border.
Before I came on this adventure, I didn't understand the Dakar. Why do they do this? I get it now, the addiction. I understand it, and I have a whole new appreciation for it.
Yeah!
Our epic explorers have had a taste of the excitement that every Dakar rider lives for. A sense of the true freedom that comes only with being on a bike. After 2 hours in the wide open wilderness, it's time for a well-deserved pit stop. Riding is thirsty work, and when you're limited in the supplies that you can carry, sometimes a little bit of exploring is in order.
So we might have reached the end of the road here. So I don't see any cafe or restaurant here. Well, let's do another lap. Let's see if we can't find anything. To me, it looks like it's a bit of a ghost town.
So making friends with the locals is key to surviving on two wheels.
Bonjour. Ça va? Il y a un endroit pour boire de l'eau.
Non, pas la route n'est pas.
There's nothing there.
Un
There's
verre de
nothing.
thé, un verre de thé près.
Un verre de thé, oui.
Oui,
Oui.
là, on est
Ok.
ici.
I was going to invite us in.
Okay. Let's go have a... It feels like very much like Africa. You see the hospitality of the people.
They're well off the tourist trail and seeing the real culture of the Moroccan people. To be a good host is almost the law.
How long have you lived here? Tout le temps.
Haute.
Toute ta vie.
Oui.
He lived here all his life.
All your life here. Beautiful house.
C'est beau,
Très
c'est très
bien.
joli. How many people live here?
Ah, beaucoup. Ici, 67 maisons. Une maison, comme ça, 25 personnes.
Wow, okay. That is a full house. What's his secret to happiness? He's such a happy face.
Pourquoi tu souris tout le temps? C'est quoi ton secret?
Pour le monde, pour un peu de sport comme ça, pour un peu de travail, pour le jardin.
Hein? A little bit of sport, a little bit of work in the garden makes him very happy.
Oh, good. You lead a beautiful life. Beautiful family and your house. Very nice. Cheers.
Allez.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
Santé, santé. Such a nice man, and big smile on his face, welcoming.
Oh, hello, chicken.
We found something wonderful, something, you know, friendship. I guess that's some of the things that you see when, you know, you venture a little bit into the unknown and you find some beautiful things that you don't expect.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Voilà la vague.
Oh, hello. Beautiful.
Voilà.
That part of the family. I love it.
To me, that's travelling. That's my favourite part of travelling. You then feel you're on an adventure. You're really delving into the culture and people of another country.
He's building the actual wall like this with the mud and the water.
That to me is the crescendo of an adventure, of this journey.
our riders make their way further east to the town of Erfoud, part of the Dakar Rally's route for several years. This marks the beginning of Stage 5 and their launch pad to the Sahara Desert. And it's here that Laura and Christophe will recreate another important off-road skill in the Dakar: navigation. Christophe knows the ropes, so this time, Laura's in charge. Navigation sets rallying apart from any other kind of racing, and it's not an easy skill to master. Dakar riders are equipped with a GPS to give them a digital compass reading known as a cap. Along with a compass, they have the most important tool of all, a set of numbers and symbols provided daily that tell them where the road goes, how far to ride, and where to turn.
Where we are at the moment.
Yep.
This is known as a road book.
We just passed that little intersection, so we're about only like 30 meters away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the palm trees here on your right.
Oh, okay.
So that's the point where we are. And you're going to lead the way. So maintain the cap. Yes, sorry,
Wow,
first
okay.
time for everything, Laura.
Laura's challenge is to find her way to the shade of some palm trees. She must use only the road book and mounted compass to work out which way to travel. If Laura misses one of the markers, it could cost them not just time, but fuel, and risk becoming stranded in the middle of the desert. Laura's not allowed to communicate with Christophe, so she can't afford a single mistake. One wrong turn, and they're both in trouble. In a featureless desert, trying to find signs that match the road book can be an overwhelming task.
She needs to make a decision soon and follow her compass heading.
All right, according to this, I'm going left. Whoa.
That's one of the two markers complete.
I hope I brought us the right way.
And Laura's first turn is successful.
Now Laura is looking at her road book, trying to find out when the next change of direction is. And she is meant to see a little pile of rock on the left, and then two sets of palm trees. She's looking into the distance to see where she can spot those two sets of palm trees.
Okay, I think I see our next sign, the trees and the pile of rocks. Trying to look at everything's kind of confusing.
She's thinking.
But even if you make the right move, it's hard to be 100% sure in your choice.
Should I go that way?
With the pressure on, Laura hesitates, and time starts to slip away.
I just don't see that pile of rocks anywhere.
With no idea if she's next to her marker, and no idea how far they have to go, Laura could be making a serious mistake for them both.
We need to find out how this thing spreads.
Sweat?
One day to go on their journey. The adventure is in full swing, and Laura tries to lead the pair through the barren desert.
I guess we go left then. Okay, where we go?
Christophe wants Laura to understand just how difficult decision-making can be when you're riding a bike. And so with no help from him whatsoever, Laura takes her chances and leads the duo to the left. But she's still not quite sure she's made the right decision.
I think I brought us the right way.
It's a nice introduction to being able to read the map and seeing where she goes at the same time.
So according to this, we're in the right spot. Yeah.
Despite her doubts, Laura's done it. But there's no time for celebration, as the most demanding terrain of all awaits. They've finally made it to the edges of the Sahara Desert. And that means one thing: deep sand. This is one of the hardest techniques to master, And with the ground below constantly moving, it's not as easy as it looks. Even for riders with years of experience, it can end in disaster. But this is what Laura and Christoph came for, so nothing's going to stop them. The first dune may be small, but it's an opportunity for Laura in particular to start honing her sand riding skills.
Now we have a bit of issues. Laura is down. Okay. But she did good though. She didn't get stuck under the bike.
I just
It's progress. You didn't get stuck under the bike, so that was good. Yeah, it's all nice and soft, so you don't hurt yourself. It's just.
Oh my gosh.
Give me a hand.
I would, but you know my back is.
I'll do it for you.
One of the hardest things about falling in sand is recovering the bike. Laura's Africa twin weighs more than her and Christoph combined.
Up with the hips.
Laura's fall shows how hard it is. It's like riding on an oil slick. But the strategy is clear. Keep a constant speed. Too fast and you may fall. Too slow, you might sink. But getting the bike moving on sand is a tricky task for any rider. And with Christoph disappearing into the distance, Laura's all alone to try and lift the bike. It may be one of the lightest bikes in its class, but after a long day in the desert heat, Laura's exhausted.
Christoph, I need your help.
Deep sand is one of the most physically demanding types of riding there is.
I'm just getting really tired.
You okay?
Yeah. Thanks. What would I do without you? Thank you so much.
With every challenge, Laura's getting more tired. It'd push anyone's endurance to the limit, but she digs deep for one more attempt. The terrain on offer in Erfoud is the perfect recreation of what it's like to ride on sand in the Dakar Rally.
Imagine lifting the bike 20, 30, 40 times. You look in the distance, you see the sand dunes, and you have another 300 or 400 kilometers of that doing.
Oh, man.
The sun is going down. It's gonna get dark very soon. All the thing that goes through your mind is crazy.
Yeah, it's not easy, huh?
So, in that soft sand like this, the first 20 meters you want the bike to get on top of the sand,
To get up, yeah.
and then you need to maintain a certain speed to stay on top.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
It's easier said than done, I know.
Yeah.
It could be the end of the road for our intrepid duo.
I'm really tired and my back is killing me. I can't lift this bike, no way. And I think that I'm going to fall another 10 times. I feel bad for Christoph.
Even Christoph's concerned Laura's reached her limits. Is this where she gives up?
I'm not sure Laura can make it.
Stage 5. And Laura's fallen in the sand dunes that lead to the desert.
Might help if I put it in
For the
front.
first time on an
Okay.
adventure that's had plenty of ups and downs, she's wondering if she can go on. But she hasn't
baby.
given up yet.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on, girl. You beauty.
And after another attempt, she gets the hang of it.
You.
Balance and control is critical when riding on sand, and standing up allows the rider to steer and lead the bike with minimal effort. The Africa twins are narrow and designed to make standing even more natural. But standing is only possible if you can manage to stay on.
Yoo-hoo! I love sand! Whoa! Ah! Christoph, help! Until then, I was loving it. I chickened out. What do I do?
What do we do now?
This wasn't in the manual.
All right, we start digging.
It's such a mental thing, you know? At least it'll stand up on its own.
I know.
Ugh.
So,
Thanks.
I'll show you a little trick. You lean the bike to the side.
Yep.
When you lean the bike to the side, the sand
Okay.
goes back underneath the wheel.
Right.
So when you lift the bike up, it's on top of the sand.
Ah, nice one.
You just need to lift it, that's all.
Okay. You get the front, I'll get the back.
Let me lift it more. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Yeah.
So now your tire is on
Okay.
top of the sand. Just very gentle acceleration so you don't dig.
All right.
I'll let you try first.
You beauty!
Very good. Next set of dunes.
God.
You can do it now.
Okay, yeah, great.
Laura's successfully ridden in sand. An impressive feat for even a professional Dakar rider.
She's right on the edge of, trying to ride and trying to experience all of this in a very fast learning curve, if I can say that. So being able to do what she's done so far is just amazing.
Spirits are high as they find themselves back on tarmac. Unexpectedly, they meet a local entrepreneur with incredible connections to the Dakar Rally.
We're following the push bike, which is hilarious.
He's gonna take us to his tea place.
You're so good! I love it.
And he's keen to take them back to his restaurant to tell them all about it.
Wow, look at this at the front door.
Oh,
Look what's
this is
waiting for us.
beautiful. How amazing, huh?
Verver, whisky.
Ooh.
Whisky verver.
Sounds good to me.
Ah,
Cheers.
chin chin.
Chin chin, la santé.
Chin chin.
Health.
Saha. Ouais, je le connais il y a très longtemps.
Ouais.
Il a passé ici.
Ici,
Ouais.
dans ce village.
Dans ce
in
village.
this village.
Les voitures, les 4x4, il y a beaucoup. Parce qu'avant, il n'y a que des pistes. Presque c'est lui qui m'a poussé, moi avec mes frères et ma soeur, pour faire un projet.
So the Dakar essentially created this, your
Ouais.
business.
As the sun sets on another eventful day, neither of them have any idea just how bad a turn their journey is about to take. Despite Laura's success on sand, the repeated falls have taken their toll, and her adventure is potentially over.
I hurt my back on, I think, one of the falls. It's just jarred, but it locked up and I couldn't even walk earlier. And the first thing I thought was it might prevent me from getting back on the bike tomorrow. Yeah, I just pray it's better tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Gordon Ramsay.
It's the early hours of the morning, and Laura's had to call in the emergency medic to treat her back after a succession of falls yesterday have put her in serious pain. They're agonizingly close to arriving at their final destination, the Sahara Desert. But despite Laura's positive attitude, it's the medic who has final say on whether it will be safe for her to continue.
As the pain starts to go away and the spasm starts to reduce, you'll probably just drift to sleep for a little while because you've had a long old day, right? We'll sort it out, okay? Good, no worries.
This is meant to be the last day of their adventure. It's been a painful overnight wait for Christoph to see if Laura can get back on the bike. They've made it. Laura's back is still causing her pain, But both riders have successfully arrived at the Sahara Desert. And Laura has achieved everything she set out to do.
Well, glad I'm back on the bike to enjoy all this. I couldn't have missed this for the world. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wow, hey?
The rider's last location is the awe-inspiring Erg Shebi Dunes. Located on the fringe of the Western Sahara, these are the highest dunes in Morocco and were the highlight of this leg of the original Dakar Rally route.
This is the crescendo of this journey.
I don't think I will ever do a better ride in my life.
But this is Christophe's domain. And now he's going to show her what a true professional can do with 2 wheels and a whole lot of sand.
To me, the important bit is to be able to explore how far you can go, physically, mentally, emotionally, and the only way to do that is to push yourself as hard as you can. Laura's attitude is the perfect attitude, always with a smile, always ready to go.
It's just been amazing. You know, the road, everything's just right there in a bike. You're free. It's fantastic.
Laura got a sample taste of some of the things we go through Dakar, and I think that's all the things that we could have done in this time is being able to show her a little bit of everything.
Their journey has taken them far off roads into a hidden country of spectacular scenery and awesome terrain. This is the only way to adventure.
This has just been a dream, one of the best experiences of my life. Yeah, life-changing for sure.
Oh, well done, you. What a legend.